Premiers, Collingwood have an army of faithfuls all over the country, even way up here. And the West Coast Eagles, runners-up last year, will be looking to put the heat on the Magpies in their first outing. Coming to you live and exclusive on 7 Sport. Hello and welcome around Australia to Marrara Oval in Darwin for the first official AFL game played in the northern part of Australia. Well, we haven't...
Brads get a chance today. Brad Hardy and Brad Rowe got to trim their list in the next month, so several players could be...
I'm Damien Mockles from Collingwood Football Club. And for all your AFL action in 92, stay tuned to 7 Sport.
And the game just underway. Collingwood won the toss and kicking right to left. The breeze blowing across the ground away from us towards the outer side. And Turley has it at half-back flank for the Eagles. Up over the centre of the ground. Pike loses the ball in the tackle. Jakovic up to half forward. It's going to be hot, these conditions. Chris Lewis might be at home here. Brilliant play by Lewis. He's dragged it round, no whistle. Comes to Kelly. Out of defence with a prize. Up towards centre wing. There's a bit going on behind the play. Chris Lewis involved. Here's Main Waring. Centre wing out aside. And there's a bit of a dust-up in the first 2 minutes of the game. About half a dozen players involved.
Orders restored. Boundary throw-in on the outer side wing. The breeze not really a factor. Blowing across the ground. A lot of jostling. Harding gets it down. Richardson could have almost been held without it. In fact, he'll get the free kick. 3 umpires officiating this afternoon. 2 of them experienced up here in the Northern Territory. Hayden Kennedy and Laurie Argent. And the third is Trevor Garrett from Western Australia. Richardson towards Morwood, couldn't hang on. Williams picked it up brilliantly outside the 50. Long probing kick. Just off target. Minor score. And when the sun comes out, it makes it very oppressive. Already getting plenty of liquid.
Yes, we see there on the interchange big Damien Monkhurst. There's a big year for Damien. He had quite an ordinary year last year, and he's got to get more mobile when he gets his run on the ground.
Mitchell White to kick in for the Eagles. Youngster from Subiaco. Played a couple of games last year with the Eagles. And a monster kick. Helped by the breeze to the outer wing. That's gone to centre wing. Knocked away from Heady by Wright. Then Wright loses it. Main Waring. And the umpire will have to ball that up. Well, let's hope for a better display by Collingwood today than in their first round in the Foster's Cup last year, when they wilted like roses in the sun at the Gabba in Brisbane and lost to the Brisbane Bears.
Off hands. This is Richardson again. Across his body, out of bounds on the full. Jared Healy looking terrific, like Michael Clark trying to make the weight.
I think I just spent about 4 rounds going with the Zuma Nelson down there in the boundary line.
There's Chris Main Waring on the outer side. Down towards half forward. Too much carry on the kick. Kelly goes back uncontested. Craig Kelly across the ground. Turner into open space. Chance for the Magpies now. He runs up towards the centre. Has a bounce. Kicks towards half forward. Pascoe's the target down there. The big man is up. Brown from behind. Still Brown over the ball. Knocks it out. Scrambled forward by Collingwood. And the mark is taken by Brad Hardy. The kick came from McCartney. And Hardy finds himself 15 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, we see here on the replay a quick kick. And Brad Hardy in the right position at the right time, as he often finds himself. He's a real enigma, Brad. He's got a lot of critics, and I guess that's justified in some quarters, but Collingwood's given him a chance to answer those with actions on the ground.
He's missed by a long way, Brad Hardy. Away to the right. Rough day for long sleeves.
Well, he normally wears not 1 jump, but 2, and I think he's got the 2 on again today.
Yes, Lee might be trying to make the weight also. Might be something about that jump at number 9.
The 85 Brownlow medalist at Footscray kicked 42 goals in 20 games for Brisbane last season. Short one comes into Waters. He's in the back pocket, Scott Waters. Bright and sunny at the present time. Chips it out wide. Craig Turley. Coming off a great season. High towards centre wing goes the kick. In front was Kelly. Knocked away by Jakovic, who recovers best. Main Waring does nicely. This is Lamb forward of the wing. Lamb towards half forward, just wide of Hines. chance behind for Evans. Dragged off the ball. Kroll does well. Gets the hand pass away to right. In support, Gafer. Gafer from left half back towards centre wing. Collingwood got the numbers 2-on-1. And away goes Francis. Francis kicking down towards half forward. Ill-directed. A strong mark is taken down there by number 23. And that's Paul Harding.
Turley, runner-up in the Brownlow last year. Up to centre wing. Ill-directed. Manson should have taken the mark. Has time to recover. Blind hand pass. Krasiska, a Queenslander. He might like it up here in this hot conditions. Shuffle forward for Collingwood. McCartney has a bit of a wrestle off the ball. Lewis fumbles. Grabbed by Morwood. Pye's looking pretty good at the moment. To full forward. And White takes a fine mark.
This was impressive last week against the Crows. He kept Scott Hodges to only 3 goals. And he's got a bit of a chance for the Western Australian side this year.
Here's Peter Matera to Heady. Slides into it and takes the mark in front of Wright. There's a bit of feeling creeping into this game very early in February.
Well, both sides were first-round losers last year, and I think both of them want to miss out on the circus that happens if you lose in the Foster's Cup. End up at all points of the globe in practice games.
And people wonder sometimes whether the teams take these games seriously. I can tell you they're taking it seriously. Chris Lewis. Scott Russell standing the mark. Kick by Lewis. Manson there for Collingwood, had his name written all over it. Poor kick by Lewis. Hand pass back to Kroll. 2-on-2 at centre wing. Heady from behind, Matera in the middle of the pack. Harding, former Hawthorn and St Kilda. Heady, hand pass blocked off by Morwood. There's a high tackle, free kick to Nichols, the Richmond recruit, Trent Nichols.
Well, I'd probably call that a caveman tackle from Jamie Turner then, and fairly crudely applied, as you said, Drew.
Trent Nichols badly hurt in '89, played only 12 senior games last season for the Tigers, recruited from Sandy Bay. This is Saunders towards half forward for Collingwood. Waterman leads back, thumps it over his head. Hepburn put his body in. Harding to Waters towards half forward with a kick. Gafer was the leaper. Here's Hines behind, about 40 metres out from goal. Turley closing 30 metres from goal, slung, and hand passes out of bounds in the pocket. Good tackle applied by Gavin Krasiska. A good crowd, getting bigger. Early start, of course. 11 o'clock local time. That's our scoreline with the time remaining just over 14 minutes. Now it's going to be a Collingwood free kick. Craig Kelly to take it in the back pocket. The Magpies looking for much more this season as he kicks towards the outer side. Knocked away by Richardson, who's doing well. It's out of bounds.
Eagles not on the board as yet. They're missing a lot of players, including the century goal kicker last year, Peter Sumich, Langdon, Brennan, Wilson, Lockyer, Worsfold the skipper, McIntosh. But Collingwood missing a lot as well. Nichols tries to go off the ground. Francis grabs it, but runs out of room. And Trent Nichols perhaps giving the Eagles some legitimate roving where they don't just necessarily have to tag the opposition smaller players.
Yes, it's an interesting move from the West Coast. They've been well known for their man-on-man tactics, and I'm not quite sure though whether Trent Nichols is a true rover. I see him more as a link player, and I think if you're going to have a true rover, you've got to have 2 of them. You can't just have one, because it then upsets your game plan when you change the rovers in the forward pocket.
I've got to say I like Evans. I think he could be a player.
McCartney in Dennis Banks' old number 12. There's Nichols firing out a little hand pass. He gets another high tackle from Krasiska. Advantage played. Turley, short pass. Hacked off the ground by Manson. Bounces up onto the chest, and here come the Eagles. Haven't scored as yet. Matera thumps a mighty kick. Heady's there. Spoiled from behind. Kelly the first to recover. Saunders it was. And the ball out of play in the pocket.
Lee Matthews looking very summery. What do they say up here? The dry wet. A contradiction in terms. We like that. Saunders, still he goes. Taken high, and he'll get the free kick.
Well, at this stage, I'd call it the wet.
Rained a bit last night just to put some moisture into that grass so it could seep out straight onto you when you were down there.
Thanks very much, Drew.
Saunders out of the back pocket towards the wing. Ill-directed kick. Marrara's in front, close to the boundary line, content to let it go across. So we've got a boundary throw in. Still no score.
Well, it's a big task for young Mark Fraser. He's on one of the great players of the AFL at the present time, in Peter Marrara. He was a revelation last year for the West Coast Eagles, and he's got a great job in front of him.
Manson wins it forward. Turley, he's been in everything. Down towards the pocket. Hines is the target again. Kelly goes back and takes the defensive mark. He started well. A battle of defences at the moment. And if you think back to their meeting in round 17 last season, the first goal came into time on. There's that mark by Kelly. This is Russell out of defence.
Collingwood moving it well out of defence. Across to Gayfer at centre half-back. Now he goes for distance. Morwood. But as happened so often last year, the Eagles had the numbers at ground level. Mainwaring aims the pass beautifully. Clappe drives it long towards the goal square. Didn't really aim it, but it's going to be the Eagles' first score, and that came from young Matthew Clappe. The Pies have fans everywhere. And that's a beautiful lead by the youngster Watson, who's taken the mark about 40 metres out from goal. Shane Watson, a local up from the reserves, 17-year-old.
Yes, and importantly, he's playing in front. If he continues to do that throughout his career, he's going to be a far better player. A little bit skinny on it at the minute, but with a few weights, he'll develop into a strong player.
Oh, the kick is a beauty. Collingwood in front.
The wing towards half forward. Watson again on the lead. Nice movement by the Woods. So Watson kicked that last goal from right on the 50. He's a good kick. Slides it just across the face. Can kick it a long way. Minor score. Collingwood increase their lead.
Well, the explosive pace of Tony Francis there was evident. He's having a pretty good battle with Don Pike, both of whom had good years last year, so will be one of the tussles of the day.
Waterman for the Eagles. And I think it might be a Collingwood free kick in the goal square. What's happening here? To Morwood right in front. Well,
yes, well, Laurie Argent's seen an infringement there. He's just giving Shane Morwood a bit of a confidence booster here.
Oh, Collingwood go further in front.
Bounces. Shane Watson taking full forward position.
McCartney stays at the back. Number 12, Jason McCartney off the ground. Hardy the only chance now for Collingwood. He's off the ground for a goal. David Hines kicked 3 goals in that quarter. Brett Heddy has 2 to half-time, and Don Pike has 1, along with Chris Lewis. And for Collingwood, their goals in the first quarter came from Morwood, Hardy and Watson. As we take you inside the Collingwood rooms, there are ice packs on heads, ice packs on foreheads, even though there are no bruises. 8, the West Coast Eagles lead it, going into the second half. And straight away, Turley adds to his stats. Up towards the 50-metre line. Gee whiz, Nichols was buffeted then. Nothing was doing. Marrara gets the hand pass away. Hart fires one a bit high for Turley, but he gets it back from Clappe. Craig Turley off the left. Has missed again, and that's perhaps one area of his game which has let him down. He's kicked 3 behinds.
Well, unbelievably, while I was in there was about 3 or 4 people laying money on Collingwood, Drew, so they're pretty loyal supporters.
Well, at one stage, Dennis said he thought the crowd slightly Collingwood's way. I would have thought if you played in Noumea, the crowd would be always Collingwood's way.
Stranger things have happened.
Kroll kicks in towards the outer side, off hands Mainwaring, who started as favourite to be man of the match. This is Krasiska through half back towards the outer side wing. Now a chance for Collingwood. Brown's got the run of it. Hepburn comes to meet him. As a result, his man was left unattended, but Harding did brilliantly. Sensed the danger and got back. Waterman across the ground at Pios. Now he's at right half back. Lamb further afield. He'll go to Lamb. Not a particularly good kick, but he's got some time. Collingwood get there in number, but he beats Krasiska and Francis and boots it down towards right half forward, close to the boundary line.